Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread.
Hi, it's Friday night. Welcome to TBS's Dinner and a Movie. I'm Paul Gilmartin.
And I'm Annabelle Gurwitch. In keeping with our holiday spirit here at TBS, we're going to be watching the Flintstones Christmas Carol movie.
And we're going to be making standing rib roast with Rockshire pudding.
Mm-hmm. And you know who's in this movie?
Fred.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, it's the best work in this one.
Wilma.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, it looked like Wilma wasn't going to sign on, but they gave her a trailer with the bottom cut out so her feet could come out and she could get around when she wanted.
You know, and Pebbles and Jam Band.
Betty.
And Betty was one of my favorites. I always felt more like a Betty than a Wilma. And Dino, he's really great, too.
I always kind of identify with Mr. Slade.
Oh, you're somewhat of a Scrooge.
No, I just like to have people under my thumb and whip them mercilessly.
We're going to get you into that holiday spirit. So when we come back from the beginning of the Flintstones, the Christmas Carol, we'll show you everything you need to make your holiday dinner.
Your standing rib roast with Rockshire pudding. And put it in the window of your car, and your car's going to tip over just like Fred. Well, now I'm in the Christmas spirit.
Sure, I get you there.
Hey, you're watching Flintstones Christmas Carol on TBS's Dinner and a Movie.
I just love the holidays, Paul. You know, everyone's at that sort of hustle and bustle. There's an excitement in the air. People decorating, families getting together for meals. Everyone's all happy. I'm just happy.
Those are the people that get on my nerves around the holidays.
I love that stuff, and I really love the whole dinner and family gathering aspect. And actually, you know, for our dinner tonight, we're making a rather traditional British meal in keeping with the Charles Dickens aspect, which
Christmas
can
Carol.
be the theme of our show. Yeah,
Right.
that's right. And well, let's show people what they need.
Okay, for your vegetables, you want some Brussels sprouts, some small onions, some small red or new potatoes.
We're going to be making our own version of Yorkshire, or as they're calling it,
Rockshire, because of the
pudding.
Flintstones.
Yeah. And you're going to need eggs and flour and milk, and then beautiful.
Of course, the centerpiece of the meal, the standing rib roast, which is essentially the same thing as prime rib. We've left the bones on because it looks like the thing that Fred eats, and it also makes it a little more tender.
That's right.
This is the first cut, which is the most tender cut of rib roast, and we're going to coat it with olive oil, which will help it brown very nicely.
We'll be covering that with salt and pepper paste.
And then our sauce.
We're making our own horseradish sauce with horseradish and sugar and pepper and sour cream. It's going to be so delicious. You're going to be in such a holiday mood. The holiday spirit is just going to fill you. You're going to be so excited. You're getting it.
All right, that's enough.
Okay.
Back to the Flintstones Christmas Carol.
We'll be back after the break to go over the ingredients for standing rib roast with Rockshire pudding once again. Here's everything you'll need to make standing rib roast with Rockshire pudding. 6-pound prime rib, 2 to 3 ribs first cut, 3 tablespoons olive oil, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, 1 tablespoon black pepper freshly ground. For the pudding, 1 cup flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 2 eggs, 1 cup milk, 3 tablespoons fat rendered from the roast, 3 tablespoons ice water. For the horseradish sauce, 1 cup sour cream, 4 tablespoons fresh grated horseradish, 1/4 teaspoon white pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon salt, a 1/2 teaspoon sugar. For the vegetables, a 1/2 pound Brussels sprouts, a 1/2 pound small white onions, a 1/2 pound red potatoes. Now back to a Flintstones Christmas Carol on TBS.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the beginning of time. It was the Stone Age.
One of the lesser-known lines written by Charles Dickens. We've been watching the Flintstones, The Christmas Carol. Hey, did you know the Flintstones is the longest-running animated series on television?
I didn't know that, and it's also based on the Honeymooners.
Well, I didn't know that, but I do know. I'm going to go preheat the oven at 450 degrees.
And I'm going to show them what they need to coat the meat. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil, tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of pepper. Just lay it on there and start rubbing it in with your hands.
Sure, this is an actual prop from the movie, Paul.
Is it really?
No, it was an animated series. Bam, bam.
Easy now.
Hey,
What?
don't you think that getting this meal ready is putting you in the holiday spirit? Don't you feel just a little
No,
something
the only thing that really gets me in the holiday spirit is other than lounging around in a bathrobe and yelling at strangers as they pass by my doorstep, shopping. I love buying presents for people. That's probably my favorite thing. In fact, maybe we're going to exchange some presents a little bit later. What do you think?
Sure, Paul. Yeah.
Did I catch you off guard or something?
No, not at all. I've got a present for you. Of
Good.
course I did.
Why don't you tell the nice people at home what I'm doing with the rib roast now?
Well, you're going to be putting it in the oven where we're going to keep it for 20 minutes.
At what?
450.
That's right.
And while it's cooking there, after about 20 minutes, we're going to be adding in our vegetables, and they're going to be cooking all the juices of the meat, and it's going to be so delicious. And we're going to exchange presents later.
We'll be back after the break with more prehistoric holiday cheer on Dinner and a Movie.
Gosh, I went all out for a present for me. What am I going to give him? Well, I'm a creative person. There must be something around this kitchen. Hey, we're back with Dinner and a Movie. We're watching the Flintstones Christmas Carol and getting into our holiday spirit. We're having our standing rib roast cooking in the oven. I'm going to be chopping our vegetables, which we're going to be putting in there so they can cook it. Thank you.
I just turned the oven down to 325, and we're letting it cook for about another hour and a half. You want to cook about 13 minutes for every pound of meat. So you're doing the vegetables? Let me tell them a little about the Yorkshire or Rockshire pudding, as we like to call it. What we did is we beat in the flour and the salt and the milk and the egg. And you don't want to put all the milk in at once. You want to kind of gradually pour it in and make sure that it always maintains a smooth consistency. Otherwise, it gets kind of lumpy, and you don't want that.
You wouldn't want that.
No.
Now, you have to confess, Paul, don't you think cooking gets you in that holiday spirit? Don't you just feel a little zing happening, don't you?
A little bit. I'm getting there, I guess.
We're winning you over, aren't we?
Oh, in fact, that reminds me. Want to take this over for me for a little bit? I got a little errand I got to run. Got to just do a little bit of wrapping for somebody.
Oh, great. Your present's going to be great, too, Paul. Just great.
After the break, we'll be back with a Flintstones Christmas Carol on Dinner and a Movie. Want a copy of a recipe or just want to say hi? Write to us at Dinner and a Movie, Box 512, Atlanta, Georgia 30301. Or check out our website for interesting tidbits on Paul, Annabelle, and all the delicious recipes from the show. So get online with us at http://www.turner.com/dinnermovie.annabelle.paul. Well, you see it. We'd love to hear from you, and we might even read your letter on the air. So keep in touch.
Hey, you're watching a Flintstones Christmas Carol on TBS's Dinner and a Movie. We've got about 45 minutes left to cook on the roast, so we pulled it out. We're going to put all the vegetables in now and then pop it back in. Annabelle, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm working on some Hanukkah decorations. I actually really like to make things myself, you know. In fact, sometimes I even make homemade presents. Do you like those, Paul?
Yeah, as long as they don't look slapped together at the last minute. I find that offensive.
Oh, yeah, me too. I hate that.
So we're going to pop this back in the oven now and cook it about 45 minutes. It doesn't really matter. The time doesn't matter as much as the internal temperature of the meat. You want to check that. Since we want it kind of medium rare, you're going to want it to be about 125 degrees when you pull it out of the oven.
Well, I'm still working on our horseradish sauce. I've been putting in some of our sour cream, and then I add in our salt and white pepper and sugar. And then I'm going to be putting in more horseradish, and it's going to be delicious and much more tasty than the gruel they're having to have in that movie. It's so sad. It's cold. They work so hard. They don't have shoes on.
I got those bad Madonna gloves.
Uh-huh.
I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Look what I got for you. What do you think?
Wow.
Gonna get to open it pretty soon. Are you excited?
Yeah, it looks great, Paul.
What do you think it is?
I couldn't guess, but I know I'm going to love it, and I'm sure you're going to love yours, too.
See you in a little bit.
That's the spirit, Paul and Annabelle. We'll be back after the break with more Flintstones fun on Dinner and a Movie.
Paul's Wardrobe provided by Kickware. Dazzling Dishware provided by Dishes a la carte, Glendale in Los Angeles.
Beans and cornbread hash.
Hey, we're back with Dinner and a Movie. We've been getting into the holiday spirit, watching the Flintstones Christmas Carol film, and working on our rib roast, which Paul just took out of the oven to check the temperature on, and I'm working on our Rockshire pudding. What I've done is I've added the mixture into a hot cast iron skillet, which I coated with some of the fat from the beef. We're going to be putting it in the oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes until it gets a nice golden brown, right, Paul?
That is correct. Right now, I'm going to check the internal temperature of the meat by putting the meat thermometer into the fatter end of the meat. We want it to be about 125 degrees.
Hey, what do you think Charles Dickens would have thought of his story being done by the Flintstones?
I think he'd be flattered.
I think so, because they really capture the spirit of the whole story. How greed separates you from your friends, and you have to remember to get presents for the ones you love and care about.
Is that a hint?
No.
The temperature's 125 degrees,
Yeah.
so we're going to leave this for about 20 minutes. Bump that up to 400 degrees. Pop that in. In fact, while I do that, why don't you open your present?
Oh, Paul, you shouldn't have gone to all this trouble, but you're so lazy. Susan, oh, that is so
Isn't that the
nice.
cooler?
This is going to look great in our kitchen.
It spins.
Wow, you shouldn't have gone to all that
Look at that.
trouble, Paul.
Spice-a-rama.
Oh, that was so nice of you.
Where's my present? I mean, not that you had to get me one, but
Put this wrapping away. You don't want that cluttering up your kitchen.
I don't care if you didn't get me one.
Oh,
It
no,
doesn't matter.
I'm going
Did you get me one?
to hate a dirty kitchen. I'm going to go clean. Oh, no, we've got a present. I'm going to clean this up for you. I'm going to...
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal.
While Paul and Annabelle practice the art of gift giving, let's take a break. But we'll be back in a few with more Festive Flintstones on TBS. It's time to get back to Bedrock on Dinner and a Movie.
Paul and I have been getting into the holiday spirit here at Dinner and a Movie. While Fred Flintstone learned about the spirit of giving, we've been making our rockfish pudding and a beautiful standing rib roast. Isn't that gorgeous?
So what do you say? We dig in?
Oh, yeah, but first, I have a little present for you, Paul.
You got me a
Just little
present?
something, yeah.
Oh, you didn't have to get me a present.
Well, it's sort of homemade. I hope you like it.
Oh, man, that is so nice.
It's you. I don't know if you can tell, but
Let's get a shot of that.
I think it looks just like it.
Is that an evil twin or is that an evil twin? That is so... You made that with stuff around the kitchen.
It's beans and macaroni, so if you don't like it, you could eat it.
You even captured my macaroni hair.
Oh,
That
thank
is
you.
very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I have a special surprise for you also. We have Santa Claus here with us on Dinner and a Movie.
No, it can't be true.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Merry Xmas. Hello.
You're really Santa Claus.
Yes, I am. I was just sleighing by and I smelled nice rib.
Name the 7 reindeer.
There's Dancer and Prancer and Donna and Dixon,
Donna Dixon is
Turner
not
and
the
Fonda.
reindeer.
2 of the reindeer are married to Dan Aykroyd. Okay.
Look, I'm really hungry. I'm a herbivore, so I'm just going to eat the Brussels sprouts.
Oh, Santa's a carnivore. Pass that meat over here, would you?
What do you say we get back to the finale of Flintstone Christmas Carol? When we come back, we'll have a little fun.
After the break, we'll be back with a Flintstones Christmas Carol on Dinner and a Movie. Now, back to the conclusion of a Flintstones Christmas Carol on TBS.